How is it going, ladies and gentlemen? So today we have something a little bit different than what I normally do. Recently, I was invited by Shoutout Winterbubs. I will be leaving his channel along with a bunch of other people who are participating in this draft tournament. I'll be leaving their channels down in the description below, right? So you can go ahead and find them. But Shoutout Winterbubs, he went ahead and invited me to this draft tournament. So Draft League is something that I've never done, right? So it's going to be a very new experience for me. I've expressed on numerous occasions, right, that I am not the greatest team builder at all. I am very much give me a team, let me play test it a little, and let me tweak a couple sets to my personal preference, and then I'll go ahead and do try my best, right? So to go ahead and actually build up a team, especially not from like a standard collection of Pokemon, but from like a wide range of different tiers, right? It's definitely going to be a new and interesting experience for me. I have okay experience like with OU team building, but not something like this, right? I don't know what a lot of the other mons outside of OU do. TBH, I don't care what they do. I don't care to know what they do. Like, I'm not gonna dip my toes into OU, like into lower tiers, right? OU and above, right? No, I'm just playing. But to me, a lot of the lower tiers just don't fascinate me as much or don't tickle my bone as much. But hey, very unfortunate. I'm pretty sure that lack of experience is probably going to bite me in the butt when it comes to certain matchups, but who cares, right? My main objective here is to have fun and not do shit. So because I don't have a dedicated viewer base here, right, that's going to sit here through this possibly 30-minute video and to build up the mystery and watch the whole thing and wonder what the hell Pokemon I'm going to pick next, I'm just going to go ahead and flat out show you the boys, the squad, the Chirac Cupchoos, the Chicago Cupchoos. Yes, I know you see him right there in the middle, right? Mr. CEO himself, the face of the franchise. We were able to go ahead and pick him up. So yeah, these are the guys, right? This is the squad. I'm going to be going round by round, just go ahead explaining what the Pokemon can do, some possible sets and items, and also my rationale behind them. Starting off with round 1. In the draft, I was number 11 out of 12. So not quite the wheel, and then also like a real drop away, right? Especially in first round where like so many gigantic Giga threats, whether it be Great Tuz, Chien-Pao, Chi-Yu, are easily going to get picked up, right? So I wasn't exactly getting the bottom of the barrel in terms of like the top of the top Pokemon, right? Because Urshifu is not the bottom of the barrel. This guy is amazing, right? So normally, if I was a little bit more up in the draft, I don't think TBH I would have picked him up personally, but because I was so close to the wheel of the draft, I felt comfortable in my second pick not being sniped, right? The wheel of the draft went ahead and went with Gholdengo plus Landorus Eye. Very threatening combo, but no matter. So with Urshifu here, it's going to be a very straightforward Pokemon, right? I'm going to be doing big Demoglios, all right? I'm going to be clicking Surging Strikes. I'm going to be clicking Close Combat. I'm going to be clicking Swords Dance plus Trailblaze, right? Pretty straightforward mod, but like it can be very hard to stop, right? Of course, people are probably going to be slapping on Rocky helmets and stuff. That's perfectly fine. I don't care, right? We always have something like protective pads, but even then, like, I'll take that chip. You think I won't? I'll take that chip. Like, of course, possible items and sets are going to be Choice Band, Choice Scarf, which are fairly obvious. Assault Vest, go ahead and live a couple of special attacks. Probably live 1 or 2 special attack kits, because look at this thing Spadef, right? Space 60, not the greatest here, and I'm really not going to be investing too much into it. So just go ahead and round out our bulk. It can always be a plus, right? And then we have Eject Pack. So predicting a switch, or just kind of going into predicting a switch, or even just a Vite Outspeed, something that I don't like the matchup, I can just throw off a CC, gain some nice free initiative, right? Always fun. Or even still, like, just go ahead and get off a hit on something super effective, switch out, and then switch out to something that can very easily take the hit and just pivot out and then just do it right over again, right? It can be annoying to play around, but Eject Pack, it's very much matchup dependent on how effectively it can work, but no matter, right? Water and fighting are great offensive typings. Water is never going to be a bad typing, and fighting is pretty good, pretty neutral. It's like, I believe it's like one of the most neutral typings out there. But with our second pick here, it's become Urshifu just becomes more menacing, right? So with our 1-2 combo, right? So with this 1-2 combo, the idea is really the idea behind a lot of games is just going to be lining them up and then shooting them down, right? Slowking, Galarian Slowking is such a phenomenal. It's just such a phenomenal, such a fantastic mon, right? The Spadef GOAT. So it also offers me a lot of flexibility. Not only is this thing great at eating Spadef hits, but it's also grounded poison, so I don't have to worry about Toxic Spikes. Pokemon cannot Terra unless they're worth 9 points or less, so I am going to have to be working with this thing's base typing, which is perfectly fine. So instead of leftovers, I can go ahead and just run Black Slush to go ahead and eke out some more HP here, right? Assault Vest and well, Heavy Duty Boots, of course, just go ahead and help out against some Hazard Sacks. I believe only one team really has the Glamora plus webs and stuff, so Heavy Duty Boots is probably going to be a must on them, but for the most part, I don't really have to worry about hazards all too much, so Heavy Duty Boots is still going to be a solid option nonetheless, right? Assault Vest is so I can go ahead and either increase the bulk of Glowking to like a disgusting level, or it can go ahead and allow me to make this thing more Spadef, right? I mean, no, more offensive, right? Because it also has really great coverage moves in Flamethrower, Ice Beam, Sludge Bomb, Psychic, again, Future Sight as well. So, yeah, it can really offer me a lot of flexibility, and then it also gets Trick Room as well, so that can always be an option. I think it's one team mainly. I think it's going to be my week 1 matchup for sure, where they have phenomenal speed tiers, right? So Trick Room is something that can definitely help us out, but there's also we also have another Trick Room setter, a better Trick Room setter coming up though. And then we also have Surprise Cobra Berry. This item's going to be a little bit more of a niche pick, right? But because our defensive guys do share psychic typing, like it's kind of unfortunate. So I got to keep a Cobra in mind. So up next, we have Zapdos here, right? Wanted a ground immunity. Zapdos is really good, just Pokemon overall here, right? With it being a legendary, its stat distribution is pretty good. So it's bulk, so it's 85 bulk and it's 90 Spadef, right? Just allow me to go ahead and really, they offer me the flexibility to go ahead and just dump EVs into either one of those depending on the matchup. And even if not, then I can go ahead and just straight up go special attack, max special attack, max speed, right? Heavy Duty Boots, of course, are pretty much gonna be standard on this thing, but depending on the matchup, right, we can go ahead and run the specs. Yache Berry can definitely be on there, but once again, it's gonna be a little bit more of a niche pick. And then of course we have leftovers, but typically it's going to be Heavy Duty Boots, right? We don't want this thing getting shipped down. And yeah, we just don't want this thing getting chipped down. We don't have, I think our main form of hazard removal is going to be spin, and then we also have the Cinderace in the back for the core change. But even then, right, like hazards are still, I don't want to say they're going to be a huge problem, but they can potentially be a huge problem, right? So up next, we have my very first Terra Captain here. Bronzong, I love, because once again, it just offers me a lot of flexibility in what I want to do here, right? The HP on this thing is kind of dog water, right? 6-7 is not the greatest, but it's also stacked on top of the lack of recovery on this Pokemon, right? That's gonna hurt, but at the same time, I feel like, look, if I have base 116 defense or Spadef and I invest in that, look, I'm gonna be eating hits, right? I'm gonna be eating hits. That's fine by me. And then I can go ahead and I can set up Rain manually. I can go ahead and set up my dual screens. I can go ahead and set up Trick Room if I really want to, right? And then we also have like some good, we have okay like attacking moves, right? Iron Defense into Body Press is something that's going to be really good and pretty interesting and fun to play around with. If we do Trick Room, we can also do, or even just outside of Trick Room as well, but we could always do Trick Room Gyro Ball, which is always going to be fun here, right? Yeah, and its abilities in Levitate plus Heat Proof, again, offer me a lot of flexibility in what I want to do. There's I think it's only a Chi-Yu and a Heatran that are like some of the most prominent fire types that are on people's teams, and like that's fine, right? So I don't really have to worry about too much. I really just got to be aware of the dark typing more than anything else. But to go ahead and help alleviate those two, typings, we went ahead and made this Terra Water and Terra Dark. Terra Water, again, phenomenal typing. You're very rarely ever going to go wrong with just tearing into a water type, right? So that's always going to be a given. And then Terra Dark, again, just go ahead and help out with our Dark Week here. Sure, we have Urshifu, but like that's my main offensive guy here, right? So I really don't want to be chipping that thing down like at all. I want to preserve its health as much as possible. Just go ahead and just so I can get off as much damage as possible, right? But either way, super great mon here. It's gonna be really fun to play around with, and I hope it can be very annoying to other people's teams here, right? Up next, we have Donphan. So, like I said, right, we do not at this point we do not have any rapid spinners, and at the point of the draft, there are very few like really good rapid spinners and defoggers, right? Corviknight had already been scooped up. Of course, the Paradox Donphan's already been scooped up. I was thinking of Quaquaval, but again, just stacking that water fighting typing, not the greatest thing in the world, although I do love its ability to snowball, but whatever. I went ahead and just went for the min-max guy, right? 120 defense and 90 base HP, pretty darn good here, right? Once again, we're kind of stifled by the lack of recovery, but hey, look, as long as this thing can get off rapid spin and probably just go ahead and get off an EQ, right? That's all I need him for. Like, that's more than enough for my guy here. Not much to say about it, right? I can run lefties, I can run Rocky Helmet on this thing, I can probably run boots on it if I'm really worried about hazards here, right? But his job is simple, and that is perfectly fine by me. So, on to our next one is going to be our second Terra Captain. Shout out Donbone Jones for scooping up all the fairies and hogging them up, you greedy bastard, right? He picked Iron Valiant, what was it? Iron Valiant, Azumarill, and Screamtail within his first 4 picks. Like, come on, leave some for the rest of us, legit. Like, so I really wanted Screamtail. Screamtail would have definitely been the pick over Florges here, or possibly over Bronzong, right? I did not imagine Screamtail. If it made it to me, yeah, I probably would have picked it over Bronzong. Then like our order would have just been one down. But yeah, really good fairy here. Base 154 Spadef here is absolutely great, right? So I can just literally leave it uninvested. I can put an AV on this thing. I doubt I will. Like, that's always an option, but like, it has Wish, it has Calm Mind, it has Substitute, it has like some other good support moves. So like, I really don't want to go ahead and take away from that. Base 112 special attack coming from a fairy type, right? With Moonblast, it's never going to be a negative, so I can always go ahead and actually just do that. And then with our Terra types here, Terra Blast Water, Terra Blast Ground are just going to round out that great coverage, right? Whatever I decide to go into. With the fairy here, I really just did not want it to be beat down by Heatran or Steels. Corviknight, yes, of course, can kind of wall this thing, but we do have Zapdos here. So that's, yeah, well, it's about to Brave Bird me for 12% and then get static and then die, right? Like, I really don't need to worry too much about it. Again, like I said, it has a good amount of coverage moves, so Extra Belt can be an option here. Leftovers, obviously, I was thinking of doing Terra Grass to actually make its ability Flower Veil useful, but kind of looking it over, I'm like, Grass doesn't help me out much, right? Because I was thinking of Substitute, Calm Mind, Terra Grass, so that way we can't be taunted, we can't be statused or anything like that. We basically become Boof Garganacl here. Actually, Boof Goldengo, I believe, right? Yeah, we basically become Boof Goldengo, but with like with like no recovery, with like middling speed and like pretty good special, right? I'm like, okay, whatever. Yeah, not much to be said here. Very good fairy type here. Can't wait to actually see how much I can make use of this bulk, right? Like that. That's so insane how a Pokemon can just have that, right? But moving on, we have Cinderace. So Cinderace here is really meant to go ahead and help out our speed tiers, right? As I'm pretty sure some of you guys will see or have already noticed, our fastest guy is Zapdos, coming in at a whopping 328 speed, base 100, right? That is no bueno. That's just rough, right? So I'm like, look, I'm gonna get beat down by HOs. So to go ahead and help alleviate that, I'm gonna go ahead and get Cinderace here. I can always put a band and Scarf with Libero, right? That's always gonna be a decent option. And then of course I can run heavy duty boots, and then to be honest, this thing is mainly gonna be an all-out attacker, or it's gonna be a support mod, and I am perfectly fine by that, right? Wide lens here is for possibly Cinderace Libero, right? Pyro Ball, Gunk Shot, High Jump Kick, and I think there's one other move there. But those are all incredibly hard-hitting moves, but shit accuracy, right? I think it's 90 accuracy and then 85 accuracy for both HJK and Gunk Shot. So Scope Lens is there to go ahead and help alleviate some of that accuracy. I was also thinking of running Gravity on Bronzong for a couple matchups, but like again, that's going to be very much matchup dependent. If I do run Gravity on Bronzong, I will definitely be running a Choice Band on Cinderace, right? Yeah, really, this thing speed tier is really going to help me out. Just not get, yeah, it's really going to help me out here. That way we can force opponents not to just run Adamant or Modest on us, right? Core Change, of course, is obviously going to be a very nice backup just in case the Rapid Spin, we're not able to get the Rapid Spin, or Rapid Spin's not going to be a viable option to get hazards off. But yeah, so we have the fire, we have the water Pokemon. So let's just, I was thinking, let me round out this core, right? Fire, water, grass core is always going to be very interesting, very good, and very annoying to deal with, just because they cover each other's typings so well. Rillaboom here has pretty good bulk. It's such a shame that it lost Grassy Glide here, right? If it did have Grassy Glide, I think it would have been like, probably would have been like 17 points or higher worth, right? I think this thing was only worth 11 points, so I'm like, I'll take it up. Main reasoning is because of Grassy Terrain here, right? Grassy Terrain really gives us a lot of, Grassy Terrain really allows us to run items other than leftovers here, right? Again, because our guys are so reliant on leftovers, just having that Grassy Terrain and allowing, say, something like the Florges or like the Bronzong to actually run a Damp Rock or something else, right? It's just so useful. And then if I do, on the Pokemon that I am running leftovers with, just increasing their leftovers to 12%, that's always going to be great. I know that we're going to also be healing up the opponent, but that's fine by me, right? Overall, though, it has pretty decent bulk, has surprisingly good bulk right here, right? Not the worst feature in the world. Grass's defensive typing is going to be a little bit rough, but also the utility moves, whether that be knockoff, drum beating, leech seed, substitute U-turn, right? It's still a pretty good option despite the loss of Grassy Glide here, right? Look, man, a VGC can make it work. I'm gonna make it work. We have AV here. We have leftovers. We have possible Scarf. I was thinking of Choice Banded, but I'm not too sure about that. And then I'm pretty sure it's mainly going to be a Terrain Extender Mon, right? Grassy Glide is just too good to give up. So, moving on, I really wanted a, like, more of a traditional breaker here. Yeah, I really wanted more of a traditional breaker here, and Cinderace can do the job well, but it's kind of frail, right? Zapdos, if I make it into an offensive mod, it's kind of a little bit too frail for my liking, right? I mean, sure, it has a really great typing, so like it can help. So it's not the worst offensive guy in the world, but like but on certain matchups, like yeah, it's not going to be favorable to use offensive. So again, very traditional wall breaker here, and then it also has a good amount of bulk here, right? Base 90 defense and base 70 SPDEF are not the greatest thing in the world, but they are definitely serviceable. This base 147 attack is absolutely phenomenal, and it's absolutely going to be a joy to play around with. So Dragon Dance, Iron Head, some other moves that I think, does it get CC? It's either CC or Superpower. I got to be cautious about Outrage, right? And then I'm not sure if I really want to run, no, I think this thing gets Dragon Rush. I think that's even bad. I'm not missing that, like, what? Crazy. So some items on this thing are going to be, of course, Choice Band. Look, 147 attack. I'm slapping a Choice Band on that thing at one point or another, right? Mirror Herb is going to be a very interesting thing to use, right? There's a good amount of setup sweepers on a lot of people's draft teams, but their setup sweepers are are going to be really typically lower tier Pokemon. So just being able to come in on, say, something like a Quiver Dance, get their boost is going to scare out a lot of Pokemon. And guess what? Like, you just gave me the free setup, and now I can just go ahead and take the opportunity to set up again, right? Or I can just straight up attack you. And there goes your plan. Yeah, it's going to be very helpful to go ahead and be switching in this thing on a bulk up. That's super scary. I get a Boo Victory Dance. Imagine that. Oh my god. Switching this thing into a bulk up, into a Dragon Dance. Like, dude, I'm +2 attack, +1 defense, and +1 speed. That's so disgusting. But hopefully that tech can work and can actually be viable and useful here. But just a fun and interesting idea I had on this mon. Of course, Yache Berry to go ahead and just live one ice type attack possibly, and just go ahead and try to pick up the KO. And then standard leftovers here. Kind of a shame that I did not get webs here. Masquerain was picked up a couple rounds earlier, and I believe somebody like frame 1 exchanged to the Pokemon for Spite Ups. So kind of unfortunate here, because I would have loved it was with my team being very bulky here and not the fastest, and it would have just made Haxorus plus Urshifu like that much more threatening here, right? But I don't care. I'm still very happy with what I have here, right? And then quite possibly the most important mon on the team, right? Mr. CEO himself. The guy, the literal face of the franchise here, right? So by this point in the draft, I had quite literally, count them up here, guys, 1 point. So I was thinking to myself, what the hell am I going to do with 1 point, right? I was genuinely considering just removing a Terra type on one of my Terra captains. For Terra, it's going to be an additional point on top of what the Pokemon already costs. So I'm like, all right, look, there's still some decent value in the 2 point section, right? I probably could have picked up Knuckle Stack. I probably could have picked up, I think the Spite Ups, right? But I'm like, you know what? Look, I'm in a wonderful position to go ahead and actually draft my guy, my literal face of the franchise here. So I'm like, let me do it, right? I don't care. I was generally thinking of between Frigibax and Hisuian Zora, but hey, man, they're not swag enough. Look. Tell me right here, right now, to the people watching the draft, to the people in the draft that are watching this video and have made it this far, right here, right now, I want you to go through your roster right here, right now, and just tell me who's switching into the Slush Rush Choice Band Icicle Crush. Go ahead. Oh wait, nobody whatsoever. Nobody's gonna eat that. Nobody's gonna want to eat that. All right, my guy's about to put in some serious work. If not, I always got a Violate. If not, I always got Focus Sash Endeavor. I'm lying. I don't even think it gets Endeavor. Who cares? Who cares? Look, my guy's about to be putting in work. He's about to be doing big Demoglios, right? I believe the Discord in which this is being held at is thinking of doing a kill counter, right? So for whoever gets the most kills, and if I can just get Cubchoo on the board, draft successful, right? That's so hilarious, and that'll be such a great thing. Towards the later half of the draft, if I can find an opponent where we both made playoffs, right, and we can make this into a like somewhat non-serious match, I would love to bring this Cubchoo, right, and just get a kill on something, right? Oh my god, I'm salivating. I am dreaming for the fucking day where a Cubchoo can sweep an opponent's team here, right? Kind of a shame that what's it called? It's not a shame that I drafted Cubchoo, but it's kind of a shame that I kind of not exactly mismanaged my points, but I went ahead and I spent big, bro. I swiped and did not care. All right, like, come on, I do not care here, right? So we really only effectively have 9 Pokemon, but that's fine by me, right? The Pokemon that I do have, I feel comfortable with. I genuinely like using here, so it's gonna be a fun and interesting draft. Yeah, hopefully I can do well. First thing, this is the first time I'm doing something like this, and it's definitely gonna be a new and fun experience here, right? Not the greatest team builder, so I'm pretty sure that lack of experience is definitely gonna show. But hey, look, if I can just get a win, if I can just get 1 win on this thing, like I'm happy here, right? But yeah, man, these are the boys. This is the squad that we are about to be following for the next 10 weeks and hopefully longer as we hopefully get into playoffs here, right? Yeah, dude, look, even just visually, look at the squad, look at the boys, man. Come on, huh? Mad threatening, mad swag. Like, come on. We got JR5 Henny. We got Santana. We got, who is that? We got Wanda. We got, I seriously need to come up with nicknames on these. We got Taco Bell. What do I want? What do I want? Average Tusk. What's the Zapdos name? Oh, Big Bird's left cousin. What's Cinderace's name? What's gonna be my Cinderace name? I don't want to name it Furry Bait. Like, it is, but like, I'm not gonna name it fucking Messy either. Like, no, get the fuck out of here. Haxorus. Oh, hold on, dude. This shiny Haxorus is giving me devious names. And then Rillaboom, right? I don't know what this thing's gonna be, what this name's gonna be, but hey, look, this is the squad, this is the boys. Hopefully we can go ahead and get some big dubs, right? Hopefully we can even get a 6-0. That's gonna be my goal for the draft, right? But hey, whatever it is, it's gonna be a very fun and interesting experience. Actually playing in this for the very first time. Yeah, I just can't wait to go ahead and be uploading content of this, right? Because it's always incredibly interesting. I'm going to be uploading team breakdowns. I'm going to be doing team breakdowns. I'm not quite sure if I want to do team breakdowns as a separate video and like midway through the week and then on Sundays upload the actual battling video, or if I should do just like a little breakthrough within the beginning, within the intro of our video, and then just move on to the battles. I'm not quite sure. TBH, hopefully we can go ahead and get some post-game interviews too with our battles. But yeah, it's gonna be very fun. It's gonna be a very spicy content coming up, and woo! Oh man, I'm getting choked up by the amount of pride I have in my team here, right? But yeah, that's just gonna do it for today, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please, I hope you guys can look forward to this, and if you guys, yeah, I hope you guys can look forward to this. But yeah, that's gonna do it for today, guys. See ya.